All right, the first dessert is very, very simple. It's just a graham cracker crust. I did not buy the reduced fat because that one had more sugar in it. So I just got the regular graham cracker crust. And then also I'm going to be using 2 small boxes of vanilla sugar-free pudding mix and 1 cup of non-fat. I use the Fage yogurt, but it's just a Greek plain yogurt, non-fat, and 1 can, this is 20 ounces of crushed pineapple in 100% juice, and we're going to include the juice. I'm going to be using light Cool Whip for my topping, and it's super simple. All you're going to do is just mix all of these ingredients over here in a bowl very well, stick it into this pie crust, chill it till firm, and you're going to top it with the light Cool Whip. I can't tell you how delicious this was. I need to interject before the next segment. The other day I was out and about and we were wanting to celebrate something that the kids had done, and we thought we would do ice cream. Well, I know that Dairy Queen on the as far as like sugar grams is just like way over the top for me on grams of sugar. I think it's like 31 or something like that for the ice cream cone, and I thought that's just way too much for all of us. So I thought, well, I started looking around, thought about yogurt, frozen yogurt, still too high, and it just seemed like everything that I thought of, every idea just was way too high in sugar grams, and it was just going to be something that I was sorry for at the time. I'm trying to save up for one splurge this week, and I don't want to have multiple, and so I said, you know what, let's stop on the way home. I'm just going to grab a couple things and then we're going to go home. I'm going to make some banana splits that only ended up to be, I believe it was 6 sugars and 6 added sugars, and absolutely great, low on points, and super, super delicious, and just totally satisfied that urge. So let me show you how I made those banana splits and what I put in them. Very simple. Okay, so I picked up on the way home a couple of these ice creams here, and they have some other alternatives that are out there, but you have to watch, make sure your protein is more than the sugar. And the other sugars were way too high. These are 2 brands that are great. I have a banana here. I'm going to use one of my 1 Point brownies that I'm going to show you how to make those in a minute. Some of the Walden Farms chocolate sauce is sugar-free, 1 cherry, and some light Cool Whip. And I'm just going to put it all together and have this deliciousness that became the star of the evening. So there's a way to celebrate. You just got to find it. All right, everybody, we are going to be making a 37-calorie brownie. I have not tried these before, but they looked really good. They sounded great, and I was looking for something low calorie, sugar-free if possible, and chocolate. Now is the hour right between lunch and dinner where I start looking for something like this, and I thought maybe this will do it. So this is the recipe right here. I am going to give you a big chance to do a screenshot. Let me give credit where credit is due. I got this out of this Tiny and Full book by Jorge Cruz. Now, this is going to sound funny, but I do not recommend this book for diet purposes. The recipes and the plan in here is unreasonable. It was meant for, taking, I think he said that it was meant to take off weight quickly for the Kardashians. It's not really for the everyday person, but there are a few recipes like this one that I can definitely use. So although I do not recommend the diet itself that's in the book, I do think maybe these brownies might be a good idea and something to put in an arsenal. So anyway, let's get started. I have preheated the oven to 400 degrees and I have oiled my pan. I know brownie pans are supposed to be square, but I don't really have a square one. I'm surprised. So I have to use a circular one. Okay, let's go down the list of ingredients here. I have 3/4 cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I have a 1/2 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, 1 egg, and I have, what is this, 1/4 cup of cashew milk. You can use, in the book, he uses coconut milk, but I don't have it, so I'm using cashew. 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. I am using Nestle Toll House. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And then I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder and then a pinch of salt. Mine is just a little more than 1/4 teaspoon. And then over here I have a 1/2 cup of scoopable stevia, which I've not used in absolutely forever. But this is measuring cup for cup. And so I'm going to use it in this. This is a 1/2 cup of stevia. I'm not quite sure, if you don't like stevia, what you can use, you know, instead of it. So you might want to play around with that if you don't like stevia. I don't mind stevia at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick all of this in the blender. This is a fast recipe. Stick it all in the blender, and then I'm just going to pour it in the pan. All right, so first in goes my big plot of yogurt. I'll get the rest of that in there in a minute. There go my oats and my stevia. Woo, look at that. I think you want to put that in there a little bit more gentle than I did. There goes my cashew milk. In goes my cocoa powder. And next is my vanilla and my salt and my baking powder. Let me work on getting the rest of the ingredients in. What it looks like. You can see it's pretty thick, and I'm just going to use a rubber spatula and pour it into my pan. It's in my pan. I'm going to now open up this. Ooh, it is hot in here. Open up my oven and stick that baby in there. Bake for 15 minutes on 400. Get out of the oven. I'm going to get a wire rack, and I'm just going to let it cool in the pan because you're not supposed to serve it until it's completely cool.